You are watching Park TV. Welcome to Monadnock Tonight with your host, Steve Jackson. Coming to you live from the Park Theater in downtown Jaffrey, New Hampshire. Join Steve and his guest today, the Executive Director of the Newfoundland Pony Conservancy Center, EMILY AHO. Now sit back, relax, and here's Steve.
Well, greetings and hello, friends, and welcome to the Park Theater and Park TV's Monadnock Tonight TV program. It is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. It's about 5 p.m. here on the East Coast, and this is show number 69. And it's definitely a spring-like 67 degrees outside our theater on Main Street here in Jaffrey. So what a day, and you're going to even know better in a few minutes why it even looks so beautiful out when we go remote into the wilds of the Monadnock region, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So glad that you could join us. We are broadcasting from the new, amazing new Park Theater here on 19 Main Street in Jaffrey. And just to also let you know that there's a photo behind me, and that is the original Park Theater back around 1930. This is where the new theater is, right here. And these historic and their canvas photo blow-up prints will be all around the new theater of different historic time periods of the theater over the years. So they're going to be definitely fun to see as you're walking around, getting ready to go in to see a movie, see a live concert, see an opera. So be on the lookout for them. But I thought I'd just put that one up there. It's such a great one with Dunkin' Drugs there right next door to us. I know some of our older viewers will remember Dunkin' Drugs, even as I have been told so much about it. So really a very special show today. So please stand by, because it's something that we've never done before, and I think you are going to enjoy it immensely. But before we begin, we have an anniversary. Believe it or not, folks, it was 1 year ago yesterday that we debuted this program, Monadnock Tonight, as a response to the pandemic. The lockdown, people not getting information, people not being able to be entertained in person. And here we are, 69 shows later. And on that first show, we had John Frederick, the town manager of Jaffrey. We had Ted Mann, a virtuoso musician from the region. They were our first guests. And since then, we've had over 100 guests on this program. And more to come. So I just want to put out a thank you to everyone who has supported this program, including those 100 guests and performers. Plus, we also thank our sponsor for such a long period of time and just a great supporter of this theater, Bell Tate's stores based here in Jaffrey and all over our region. Thank you, everyone at Bell Tate's, for supporting Monadnock Tonight. As I say, we have a very special guest on our show today, and she's going to be bringing along with her some very special, unique guests. But first, a few notes on what's happening here at the Park Theater. I wanted to let you know that our Parks Pix Flicks free films continue. And as we've been doing this month in honor of Women's History Month, we present the Women Pioneers of Film. And this amazing series that we're into our final week has been curated by one of our board members, Peggy Ueda. And thank you, Peggy, once again for this incredible series that we've been able to inform people of some really very surprising women that were involved in the very early days of motion pictures. As I say, this is our final week. 4 women have been profiled. This is our last one. Let me just go to our, these are the women who have been profiled, and you can still find at Park Pix Flicks, Lois Weber, Lottie Reiniger, Dorothy Osner, and finally, the woman who we are going to be talking, starting tomorrow, you will be able to find out a lot more about Ida Lupino, who you may know more for her acting, because she was a celebrated actor in the late 40s, 50s, and into the 1960s. But really, her acclaim was being an incredible director and producer. To give you a little taste of the type of films that she made, of which some of them she directed and starred in, here is a trailer of these films, which are available. I believe they're all on either Netflix or Amazon. But look at these. These they came out in DVD, but they're streaming now. They were restored, and these classics from mainly from the 1950s. Take a look.
Do you mind if I sit here?
Well, there's not much I can do about it. You're here.
I guess I always have to keep on the go.
Someday I'll get someplace.
And keep driving.
They're all alike, honey. Never call when you want them to.
I guess all men are no good.
Oh, I don't know. I think there are one or two nice ones left in circulation.
Nobody ever gave me anything. Got what I wanted my own way.
I don't need anybody. I can take care of myself.
At the top of the news tonight is the report that the hitchhike murderer, Emmett Myers, is still at large. Yesterday, the devil thumbed another ride, and William Johnson of Portland asked him to hop in. Now, William Johnson is dead.
You guys are gonna die, that's all. Just a question of when.
How could a man like you, successful, admired, get into a position as vile as this?
Loneliness, I guess.
If this is a sample of your work, you're not very good at pickups.
You will call, won't you, Steve?
We were two people who knew what we were doing, remember? I never gave you any phony ideas about getting married and growing old together. That's something you got into your head.
He's the kind that thinks you ought to be married to have children. What would you do if you were me?
I've hurt you, Sally. I'm sorry, but I've never lied to you. Now get that straight.
So let me come back here. Hold on. So starting tomorrow at Park PixFlix, which you can go to the parktheater.org, or you'll be able to see there'll be posts in Facebook. You can go and click on Park PixFlix, and you'll see not only Ida Lupino, which begins tomorrow, but all the other women, pioneer women in cinema series. You can go back, and there are stories to read. There's some documentary on Ida Lupino, and in some cases, I think with Ida Lupino, we have a free film of one of her films as well. All those links are there. Also wanted to tell you that we have, not tomorrow, but I wanted just to give you a little preview. A week from tomorrow, we have on our pay movies, 2 new films, and one of them is called Resurrection, and Resurrection is one of the most important and awarded films to come from Africa ever. The story is when an older woman's village is threatened with forced resettlement due to reservoir construction. An 80-year-old widow finds a new will to live and ignites the spirit of resilience within her community of what to do when modern takes over decades of the way things were, and what modernism and how it can destroy, but how people deal with it. And this 80-year-old widow, it's her story. It is receives one of the most unique acclaims, is that it has 100% fresh on RottenTomatoes.com, which is an amalgam of Critics' Choice reviews. So that starts a week from tomorrow. Plus, also a week from tomorrow, we're going to be doing a lot of things about the Oscars in April, and And so we want you to stay tuned for that. But a great thing to start, and we used to do the films that are nominated in the short categories. Used to present these over at the River Street Theater when that was open. So for those who came to those, they compile all the nominees plus a few bonus films and there are 3 different films. I think it's documentary, short film, narrative, and animated, 3 categories. And they all run about 90 minutes each, all separate. But here is the trailer for the 2021 Oscar-nominated shorts that will be on pay-per-view with us starting on April 2nd. Yes, in theaters, but also with us, they're going to be online. So we'll tell you more as we get closer to that. Well, coming up very soon. But let's get to why we're all here today. Let's be honest. Our guest today is an amazing individual. She is so dedicated, so passionate, so loving, and here is her bio that to give you a little bit of background, but we'll find out some more directly. EMILY AHO is Executive Director of the Newfoundland Pony Conservancy Center, also one of the founders of the original Vili Pony Farm Sanctuary, that many people remember that name. EMILY has owned Newfoundland Pony since 2004. She wears many hats. She's a certified equine assisted learning facilitator, a registered nurse, and a semi-retired children's author of 7 titles, but best known for her main classic, Mabel Takes the Ferry book, published in 1995 and still in print. EMILY is also a per diem instructor for the Red Cross Nursing Assistant Training Program, enjoying teaching and getting students started in their careers in the healthcare field. She's also board vice president of the Equus Survival Trust, an international equine conservation group that is her mentor. Previously, she served on the Newfoundland Pony Society Board of Directors for 3 years as a member at large and as vice president. She's been involved in the rescue and rehoming of many ponies, including the subject ponies in the 2006 documentary, Where Once They Mattered. Now, that you may remember at the River Street Theater, we did a fundraiser for, at the time, Vili Pony, and we presented that lovely film, Where Once They Mattered. She enjoys public speaking, outreach programs with the programs, but overall, happy to use all of her talents and experience one mission, which is saving the Newfoundland pony from extinction. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from the farm, and let's see, there she is. EMILY, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Good,
I know we lost you there momentarily. I saw the setup, but you're back.
We are. Yep, we're back. And we're live.
And you're live.
Yeah.
Well, it's so great. There's so many questions to ask you. But as I do with all of our guests, I love to be able to, a lot of people, they certainly know of the organization. They know you, they know the work you do, but give us a little bit about where you grew up, went to school, and what brought you to the, to the world of horses and most definitely ponies, as well as other equine life.
Sure. Well, so my maiden name is De Palma. I grew up in, it's Emily De Palma, and I grew up in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. My dad was a firefighter. My mom was a telephone operator, and I have 3 sisters. And one of the reasons I'm going to tell you why I got into horses is because my father never bought me a pony. Okay, so this is what happens years later. So now I have, I don't know how many, I think we're up to 27 now, but they're not all on here on property. They're in different homes. So that's what happens, see? So if you don't get your kid a pony, you might end up with many, many more when they get older. So, but anyways, I went to high school there, and I went on to music school for a year, decided that I wasn't going to be able to feed myself being a music major at that time. And I went on to nursing school. And from there, I got out as a graduate nurse. I was immediately made head nurse on a step-down unit from ICU, which was learning how to be a nurse under pressure. It was unreal experience. I learned fast. I had great supportive people with me. But one of the things I learned when I was at working at the hospital was that they weren't just a person in a bed. They were
Oh, we've lost your audio.
I'm
Emily.
sorry. Hear me
Oh,
now?
You're back.
Yeah, I got a phone call. A living, breathing, walking story. And their lives were so fascinating. So I would spend my time when I had breaks, as you know, is when I had breaks, and I would sit with some of the patients and listen to them. And the stories of their lives were more fascinating than anything fiction. So I went on, I got married, had 2 children, and then my first children's book kind of jumped in my lap, and it was about Mabel, my dog at the time, and how we lived on an island, Islesboro, out in Penobscot Bay, Maine, and my dog, without permission and without a ticket, took the ferry to the mainland one day. Everybody thought she belonged to somebody on the boat, but she didn't. And we had no idea because we were out sailing all day, and we came back, couldn't find the dog. Well, she went to a lobster restaurant, and we got a call about 9 o'clock at night that she was there. The ferry doesn't run anymore, so we had to sail over to get her. And that was how it's a very long story, but we're not here to talk about that. But that's how my first book came out, and it was a major hit, sold out, and all of a sudden I was everywhere. I was no longer a private person, and that was another learning experience. So from there, I continued doing books for quite a while, and I did a lot of author visits, and then I decided to get myself a horse, and I did. And then my daughter had one, and then my horse ended up alone because she kind of got sick of being around horses. And so I was looking for a companion for my horse, my Clydesdale cross named Bob. And I had seen this pony up at another farm where I had bought Bob. And it was a Newfoundland pony, which I'd never heard of. And it was a little stallion. It was very pretty. Yeah, very cute. All right. So that was that. So, go back a few years, fast forward a few years, and Bob needed a companion. And I saw that there was a Newfoundland Pony Cross filly that was for sale. So I thought, I don't have time to, take care of another big horse. I'll just get a pony, and that'll keep Bob company. So little did I know what these ponies are really like. They really drew me in and snagged me, I'll tell you. So that pony, her name was Tansy, and she just was beyond anything I'd ever believed could be, an equine could be. And after a while, her sister came up to be for sale, and she was a registered pony. Her name was Mandy. And then Mandy's and Tansy's mother came up to be for sale. So what the heck? I went and got her too. and in the process, so I had been divorced. And in the process, I had a little trainer. Her name was EMILY AHO. And through Lexi and a pony, I met George. And George and I fell in love, and we got married a few years ago. So here on day. Yes.
Well, I'm wondering, as you continue your story, Emily, I think because we can ask questions while you're talking to your friends, your family around looking the other direction. So I'm just wondering if maybe we begin to say hello to someone around there, and I'll keep asking some questions.
Let's see if I can switch this around.
All right.
Doing good so far. Okay.
That's it. And there's George.
George.
Hello, George.
Hello.
He's a very tolerant man. I'm a very lucky woman.
I'm a very crazy man, apparently.
Yeah.
So George is your partner and your partner in the Conservancy Center and your partner in real life.
Yes. So I'm the executive director. I'm not on the board, and George is president of the board. We have a 6-member board of directors, and we do everything transparently and by the book, believe me. So it's not this. I wish I could say the same for others out there, but we really do things the right way, and we're very cautious and conscientious, and we have a great board. I wish they were here, but with this weekend, we're having our volunteer appreciation party on Saturday. So yeah, so let's show you a little bit more about.
Yeah, let's take a little walk here and see who's out there.
Yep. Oh, don't mind the mess. We just moved in, and we're everything's kind of. Can you still hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, so this is Willa, and Willa is a livestock guardian dog, and she's a love bug. And that's her buddy. That's Thor. And there are 2 different types of livestock guardian dogs. And as you'll notice, they're inside this fence because they're working dogs and they have a job to do. And that is to keep predators at bay. They are really friendly, lovely dogs. But if you didn't know them and you came here and they were barking at you and there was nobody around, you wouldn't go in with them. But they are really nice dogs. They're very safe. They're not really protectors against people, of people. So, but they're very focused, and they spend their time checking everywhere, every border, every perimeter, everything. They check and make sure everything is safe.
Now, Emily, you were telling me as you're looking at the vista of this gorgeous farm, where you were previously in Jaffrey, as nice as Jaffrey is and everything, and now you're in Marlborough. But Jaffrey was about 6 acres, and this is 100 and some?
135 acres. Yes.
So this is you've got room to grow here.
Oh, we sure do. And it's just an amazing place to be. While we love Jaffrey and we very much miss living there, this is the best place for everyone. And since our life is the ponies, then this is where we need to be. We follow the ponies down the pony path. There's been some ruts in the road, let me tell you. And a few cliffs we've almost fallen off on, but we're home now. We're home.
And of all the ponies, and you say you have maybe 27?
I'm thinking, I have to count them again. Yes.
And what are the age ranges?
From this age, which is like Terrible 2 in children. She was born July 1st, which is Canada Day, this in 2020. And we have, my oldest one is probably 23.
Wow.
Yep, 24.
And what's the name of this little darling?
Yeah, she's darling, all right. This is Clover.
Clover.
Clover, yep. Her full name is Winsome's Lucky Clover. Her father is Lucky Ace, who's one of our stallions. And she is a pistol, let me tell you.
And, I just want to dot some facts along as we're looking at your beautiful animals here, that obviously the reason that you put together the Conservancy Center is that this is a breed that almost and still needs to be taken care of because there are so few that it was almost extinct, except for a select group of people, including yourself, who've tried to maintain the breed. And I remember at one time, a few years ago, there were only, I think, 400. Is that about right now?
Yep, I think they're talking more about like maybe around 500 now, because there has been more interest and people have been going out and finding lost ponies. What I mean by lost ponies is that, let me tell you about the initial effort. So one day the people of Newfoundland kind of realized what happened to our ponies. They used to roam free. and no one needed them anymore because they had tractors and they had more modern things to farm their gardens with and work the land and haul their wood. So they just said, what happened to our ponies? They started looking around, and they found there's a lot of people say 200, 300, 100. I'm not quite sure, but the numbers had greatly diminished. And they had a group of women who got together and started a little group to save the Newfoundland pony. So they got out there, they found ponies, and with the help of a well-known veterinarian at the time, they started a registry. And so over time, though, it never really grew. The population never really grew because people were breeding and selling ponies and breeding and selling ponies. And so what happens to ponies is that they go to little Susie, and little Timmy, and then they grow out of them. And then they get passed on to some other kid. And then they grow out of them, or they don't have time. And they get passed on to some other kid or some other place, and they get lost to the mission. So that was one of the errors. That wasn't an error. It was just what happened. And so they were lost to the mission. They didn't know where they were. And to this day, they're still finding ponies. And we have a database that's parentage, tests all their parents. So it's a parental database. So we check with DNA. And so actually right now I've got 2 ponies that are what I name I came up with when I was on the board, mystery ponies, and waiting to hear back the DNA results on them. So it's pretty exciting.
Can you also turn the camera around so we can see your buildings on the the property too?
Yep. So that's a schoolhouse. And you see it's got carriage sheds over there, and it's got our outdoor boiler and heavy equipment. We've got everything here. And then that's our house. That's the house that we're living in. And it's just the most phenomenal place I've ever lived. It's absolutely beautiful. And you can't see the back, but up behind us, there are hay fields. And it's a big, long field that we take walks with the dogs in the morning. And up the very end of that field is a pond. And you can kayak in that pond. We haven't made it that far because we had snow on the ground to go and get to the pond, but we're planning on it soon.
And you've only been here how long?
Oh gosh, maybe 5 weeks, 4 weeks,
Yeah.
I want to say. So we're still, in the process of moving out of the other place, but
Right.
we're back and forth, and it's I'll never ever again move in winter. So as you can imagine, there wasn't fencing up that was suitable for working for the ponies. There was nothing suitable for the dogs. There was nothing suitable for anything. So we've been like living crammed in this barn. It's been really tough. Don't mind the manure there. I got to get the tractor in there. That's too heavy to pick up. And so it's an old dairy barn. And we've been kind of living out of that with the animals. And we've been living over across the street. So today was a big day because we got some electronet fence, and we are expecting sheep. Let's see, we're getting them on the Easter weekend, and we put that up today, and the ponies respect electricity and the dogs respect electricity too. Oh my, there must be something she's got to go check on. So,
and then you also have, now I always get this wrong and you've corrected me before, but you have, shall I say, donkeys or mules?
We have donkeys. There is a difference. Okay. Yeah. So mules are a cross between a donkey and a horse, and they're, for the most part, unable to reproduce. But there have been instances where a mule has been able to reproduce. So never say never. But donkeys are their own species, their own subspecies. And I had a very great friend, a very wise man, say to me, the difference between a horse and a donkey is, with a horse, you tell them what to do, and they'll generally do it. With a donkey, you tell them what to do, they take it under advisement, and they'll get back to you later. And that's exactly what a donkey is. They take their time, they think, and they're not stubborn. They just think first. And when they decide it's okay, then it's really okay. So they're pretty cool.
Are there any donkeys around where your camera is right now?
No, they're actually, so when we had to you know, when everything happened last year, we immediately farmed out a lot of what I call farming out, but they went on to foster situations. And Toby, who I know you like very much, one of our ponies, Willie, one of our volunteers, Susie, she loves Willie. So she said, we can take Willie, and he needed a buddy. So we were going to send Junior, who's our younger new donkey. He's part mammoth. He's huge. And we were going to send Junior and Willie together because they like each other. So we tried to we put Toby on the trailer to get Junior in, and he wasn't having anything with the trailer. So Toby went with Willie. And then, I don't know, about a month or so ago, we managed to get Junior on the trailer. And now Toby doesn't want to go home. So they've got 3. So that's kind of a problem because we would like at least 1, if not 2 here, So we'll figure these things out as we go.
Can we get a little closer to one of your? Is that still Clover?
Yep. Clover. Yeah. George will go get her. While I was waiting to come on, she took my water glass and she spilled it all over. She was in my face. You missed a lot. Oh man, George is my bodyguard. Yeah. Can you still hear me okay if I get down here?
Yep. You're fine. You're fine.
So this is Winsome Dream. And Winsome Dream was our firstborn, and she was born in New Ipswich when we were located there as Billy Pony Farm. And she was born in 2012. She had her first foal with our stallion Lucky Ace, and the resultant foal was Clover. So Clover's a filly. So I could tell you she's what? I can't do the math. She's 10 months old, 9 months old, and she is a pistol. The funniest thing I've seen her do was the first time she encountered snow. And it was early in the morning. I happened to look out, and the snow was falling on her. She did not want that snow on her at all, and she was quite offended. She was leaping and shaking it off and mad and running. And so her mother, her grandmother, and her aunt were just standing there looking at her. So she finally went over to her aunt, who kind of comforted her because she annoys her mother and her grandmother. And she kind of calmed down, and then she went and stood inside a shed. But it was the funniest thing to watch her leaping and shaking. I am not going to have snow on me,
Now,
So
pardon me, who's George bringing?
This is Clover.
Oh, that's Clover coming
That's
back.
Guilty party. She is the boss. So I think she's the boss, and nobody pays attention to her in this group. Yeah, they kind of pass her off. She's a pest. But this is her age, and she's going to be a good sized pony. She's got good bone.
She's going to go.
She's going to go. Okay, George is done dancing with her. And so she's got great bone. What the ponies can do are anything any other horse can do, they can do. This one here, when she was young, she jumped and cleared a 5-foot corral panel from a standstill. She's more of a Western style type of a riding pony, but we will be training her to do traditional work. Clover's got a little time, but we're everything that turns 2 years old here is going to be taught how to ground drive. They're too young to be doing any heavy work, and so we are trying to preserve and restore the traditional use of the pony, which was as a work pony. And nowadays with all the homesteaders and people getting back to the earth and simplifying their life, there's a need for a good, hardy, strong pony. Draft horses are great. They're expensive to feed. They're hard to dress and harness. They're a lot of work. I love them. I absolutely love draft horses. But practically for a small garden, a small homestead, you're better off. You have a pair of these ponies will pull anything that a moderate sized draft will do, and they'll pull their hearts out. They're very strong.
Now, the other thing you were telling me, and I'm going to put your website up. There are a couple of things to let people know. One, you can sponsor one of the ponies, right?
Yes, you can. Yep. And
so your website is up along with your telephone number.
Oh, awesome. Great. Yes, we have a sponsorship program, and we're always doing something. We have an open house coming up on April. I got to get the dates right. It's 10th and 11th. So it's 10th is the regular day, and 11th is the rain date. Weekend after Easter. And so we have some kind of fun things planned, and we're not announcing them just yet. So,
Good, good.
yeah, we're
Keeping in
excited.
suspense.
This place is a destination. So the place in Jaffrey, you came, we gave you a little tour, you saw the ponies. This here is an interactive farm. Walking here takes you back in time. You feel like you're really on a farm. You really feel like you're a farmer. And then, can you hear the ravine in the background? Can you hear that? The water?
I am not hearing that, but I've been having a problem with some hearing going on lately. So I can't hear it. Hopefully our audience, if you can hear that, folks.
Well, just behind there, the pines right there, there's a ravine with a stream that goes through it. And down over that knoll over there, there's a woods road that is absolutely beautiful. You can walk along the ravine down the stream. There's a place you can cross it. You can climb this hill that has the most incredible view of Monadnock. Interestingly enough, we are now on the opposite side of Monadnock instead of on the front side. Yeah. And we have to check out something here. On guard. They hear things before we do, you know.
Dogs. Oh, I can believe that. That's always true.
Yep.
It's always true. Now, are you looking for volunteers?
Absolutely. We are always looking for volunteers, and volunteering with us is a lot of fun. And we have a great group. We do not especially look for people who have horse experience. In fact, I personally prefer to work with people who have some animal experience but want to learn more. It's kind of, so we're having on here. Oh, somebody walking in the woods. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know when we've been to the farm, your older farm. Obviously, we haven't been to the new one, but I always noticed you had a lot of youngsters. But with your volunteers, also, can they be any age?
Well, 14 is up is what we prefer. However, there are some 12-year-olds that we've had that are very mature, and they may have a mother that they can come with. So the point is that we don't often have time to, like, I don't want to say it in a negative way, but babysit. So we need someone to do that. And as docile as these ponies are, anybody can get hurt around any kind of, like I say, every dog can bite. They may not, but they can. And so every pony can step on your foot, knock you over, that sort of thing. So we prefer that we'll be a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Do you want to meet another pony?
You can't give us enough ponies.
So this is Dundas, and that's her mother, Heather. They both have the same name. I don't know why we didn't name them. So she is, let's see, she's the mother of Leo, who was born on May 26th last year, shortly after my father died. And the board and volunteers, I was grieving terribly. They surprised me, and they said, we think we should name the foal Emilio's honor after my dad. Of course, I bawled my eyes out, and I wasn't sure I could do that.
Right.
So I went out and I spent some time with him. My dad was called Leo. And I said, yeah, I can do this. So he's Leo, and he's just beautiful. He's a big boy.
Emily, can you show his head a little bit more?
This is Dundas Heather. So we're in the mayor's side of the property.
Oh, okay.
Well, the bad boys are across the street, and I have a story to share on that. But this is Dundas. Dundas, she can pull a telephone pole. I've had her hitch to one, and she's dragged it like it's nothing. And she rides, she drives, a cart, she logs, and she pulls the sleigh. She does everything.
And that's their heritage, being work ponies, work horses, right?
Yes. So the thing I didn't really cover that was so special about these, it's not just that they're endangered, it's what they are. They are a breed made by nature. Nature made everything about them to survive. So their entire genetic makeup, everything about them is to survive. They have no genetic disorders. They think before they react, because that has to do with survival. And on the island of Newfoundland, they weren't just a horse you train. They were called horses, by the way, originally not ponies. And they were partners. So this breed is more of a partnering breed. And the biggest problem I see is that there's a lot of people who get horses who have old misconceptions or don't understand how to handle this breed. And honestly, less is more with this breed. Yeah. Connecting with them, partnering with them is easy. You do not have to run them down to, quote, join up with you like some do. You don't do that with a Newfoundland pony. So they're just amazing critters. So, and they have no genetic disorders whatsoever. And I find me a breed that you can say that about. There's not many.
Now, Emily, I should say we have someone who's commented, Faith Williams comments, it's always a fun time volunteering here.
Oh, we love Faith. Thank you, Faith. And we love having her. We have people who've been with us a long time.
And my wife Lisa has commented, what a marvelous life.
You know, it looks that way, but it's exhausting. So Lisa, you should have been here Tuesday. So we had let the mares out without this electric fence, the perimeter fence. It's not charged, but they respect it. They didn't test it. Okay. So we were keeping an eye on them. So Clover knows nothing about electric. She tested it, went right through. So the mares got loose and went into the paddock. We have all kinds of land that keeps on, you're only seeing one area that keeps on going all around the barn and down the road. It's absolutely beautiful. So they started heading there. So we got them in, and we had an escaping dog. We got that all fixed, and we sat down. It was about 5 o'clock, and all of a sudden I hear the neighbor say, Emily, the ponies are in the street. I'm like, what? So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 here. All right, 2 inside, 1 over there. And like, it's the boys. And they're across the street. And there's a pole barn over there. They're across the street. And it's the 2 young boys. Sam, who some may remember, was born a year ago, July. And he made the papers all over the place. There was Leo. And then there was Ami's Honor, the one with the broken leg. Do you remember him at all?
I'm not sure.
He's a buckskin, and he came to us injured, and he was so badly injured that we actually took him in. He kind of started this whole thing too. We actually took him in to put him down, and the veterinarian looked at him. He had a broken femur, and she said that he's young, he's small, and it's fused. Let's see what happens. So this July will be his 10th anniversary of being with us. We never did put him down, but he's been having Reiki done. And all of a sudden, this guy knows how. He couldn't rear. He couldn't do anything. The leg, he wasn't in pain, but he really kind of had to hobble and bring it along. He bends that leg now. It's not perfect, but he bends that leg now. And he can rear. So Ami was out, and Leo, the 2 little knuckleheads, Leo and Sam, were going along with him. And oh, what a fiasco. Ami went over to pick a fight with Cabot, who's on the other side of the barn. And boy, they both could rear, and they weren't together though. They were close by fence. And then the little guys were running all over the place, and threw one in the barn, got another one, got that one thrown in the barn. And then we had to get Ami. He went over cliff. I mean, he was just unbelievable the way he was moving. We kind of preferred him the way he moved before. We caught him, and he dragged George through the picker bushes. And then we got him back, and there was just a little mistake in the we fixed the fence. So,
Emily, have you ever had a pony? Oh, I'm sorry.
That was fun. So that ended about
with all the antics going on, have you ever had a 24-hour pony cam?
No, we haven't done that because
I think you should, and get someone to sponsor it to raise a little cash. I think watching the ponies in the whether it's outside or in the stables, I think people watch them all day long.
That would be great in the loafing shed, because the dynamics, what's so cool about horses that a lot of people are starting to learn is that they communicate with body language. And it's really fascinating when you start to identify what they mean by doing this or turning a foot or all that. So we emulate that. There's a woman named Sharon Wilsey, and we follow her teachings. She has a book out called Horse Speak, and we emulate what these ponies do. And that's how we approach them. We don't force them to do anything. We partner with them easily. We ask nicely, and it's pretty easy. So, but that's a really cool thing, because you can see the herd dynamics. And once you know what they're saying, it's fascinating to watch.
You're also getting a shout out from someone else, from Debbie Richard Mailman.
Oh, Debbie.
Hi, Emily and George.
Hi, Debbie. So, oh my goodness, Debbie, remember the horse we were buying when we had the tag sale and the parade? Yeah, That's the story. I grew up with Debbie, and we decided that we wanted to get a horse, so we raised money. And our parents made us give it to, I don't remember if it was the Diabetes Association or American Cancer. We still didn't get a horse. We still didn't. Debbie had the barn, though. See, we had this all planned. Yeah.
Well, we're coming towards the end. And I hate to do it because we could keep watching all of your animals and yourselves, and you and George, all day long. So we'll have to come back again.
Sure.
But I'm gonna put up again, Emily, and if you want to come back so we can see you before we say goodbye, I am putting up the your website again so folks can make donations. They can sponsor a pony. Or they can volunteer. Yep. So it's newfoundlandponies.org. That's up on the screen. Or you can call 603-876-3836. 603-876-3836.
We have a lot of exciting things on the agenda, and we're just about ready to announce them. So, lots of things for the community.
Well, I know that my wife, Lisa, and I will be out soon to visit you and George.
Yeah. And you can take
and maybe at some point I'll be lucky enough that Toby will return.
You might have to get a petition up. I don't know. You might have to go over there and convince him.
Might have to go over there. Well, he did follow me quite a bit.
Oh, he likes you.
I might just, if I walk down the road, would he follow me back?
No. He'll consider it, and he'll get back to you. He'll get back to you. Saying hello to her in pony body language. Yeah, he'll consider you. Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Emily, for being on. I know everyone thanks you and thanks George for the incredible work you do for these animals, not only locally, but also what you do worldwide in protecting this breed. And it's special work, and I think everybody is so happy that you've ended up in really an incredible piece of property with this farm and the acreage, and so glad that you were able to stay close by, so that everybody can continue to visit and see everybody at the Pony Conservancy Center.
I think that was the best thing, that we didn't have to move far away, and it all worked out in the end. Like you said before, it was a circuitous path, but we are where we belong right now. And that's all right. Thank you so much.
Well, we thank you again, Emily and George, and we will all see you very soon. Again, folks, everybody go to newfoundlandponies.org, find out what's going on, the open house that they're going to be having in April 10th and 11th. I guess one of them's the rain date, right?
Yep, Saturday.
And make a donation, sponsor a pony, and all the above, and volunteer. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
All right. Oh, look at that. Lying down on the job.
Oh, you can't roll uphill, honey. You're too fat for that. Oh, let's see. Oh, no.
I'm telling you, I can't. Now you see which
almost. Oh,
which pony is that?
This is Heather. This is my heart. I didn't even talk about her. She is amazing. All of these ponies are EAL ponies, except for the little one. So we use them for equine assisted learning. We have a couple great programs starting up, which I'll be announcing pretty soon. So very special.
That's a whole different show to talk about. Those
sure programs. Is. Yeah.
But I see, she's showing off for us before we go.
Yeah, she's great.
All right. Well, we're going to say goodnight. And again, thanks to everyone. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks very much. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye now. Well, there is nothing better than that, is there? Really? I mean, these folks do such incredible work for such a special animal, and all animals for that matter. And they're so passionate about it, and so wonderful and so sweet. And so please help the Newfoundland Pony Conservancy Center any which way you can. And at the minimum, when they have open days, go over and visit, because you've got to see these beautiful, beautiful animals that they take care of so well. So we are so glad that you were here today. I'm just quickly Jared Mazzacci, we all remember Jared. He's the creative director over at Andy's Playhouse. He will return in April because I just found out this week he has his own personal new virtual play that is, I think it's called Someone Else's House, very mystery-based virtual play that is being produced by the LA-based, very famous Geffen Playhouse. So Jared's going to tell us all about that and what's going on there. And as I always, let me try to get in there. And if you have questions, if you'd like to sponsor the program with a donation, we would certainly welcome it. But if you have questions or if you have ideas, well, there's a group, I know a group that's kind of like the Pony Conservancy Center. Why don't you feature them? We'd love to know. I know a musician. She's got a great band or solo. Let us know. All you have to do is give us a call at our number 532-9300 or give us an email at parktv@theparktheater.org. And as we have said for 1 year, the following, and it's just very simple. Just be safe out there, be healthy, always be kind to everyone, and be hopeful. And I think there is reason to be hopeful right now as things start looking brighter as we move through this year, because we can do this and we are doing this. So again, this is Steve Jackson. Thank you so much for being with us on Monadnock Tonight on this very special location photography live. And certainly thanking again Emily and George Aho and the Newfoundland Pony Conservancy Center over in Marlborough, New Hampshire. Thank you, folks, and we will see you next week.